Greetings everyone and a warm welcome to you all. Hey, thank you for joining me for this reading. This is the April 2021 Psychic Global Earth Predictions. I haven't been online very much recently. I think it's been over a month since I uploaded anything, partly because I've been really busy and away from home a lot. And then I just seem to be confined with my time restrictions in other areas as well. But I'm sure you're all doing okay, that you're receiving the messages that you need to at this point in time. We know that places like YouTube, there are plenty of other areas as well, where you can find information when you have the desire to, or when you are wanting to uplift or learn, or just integrate with some new messages that are coming in. So hey, thank you for still being here. I am around. I am doing a few private readings from time to time when I can fit them in as well. Let's have a look now at the energy coming in from the collective conscious, which is yourself, from the psychic realm as well, using or integrating these tarot energies to tap into the messages that you're all creating. So I think we know that we're still traversing through fairly intense astrological alignments. Now, I'm not an astrologer, but I do listen to a lot of the astrology reports from some other very, very good online astrologers. They have been saying March and April in particular, and I'm not sure about the rest of the year yet, but these are intense energies coming through. And in part they're to do with the Mars alignments, also to do with Saturn and Uranus and Jupiter and the positions that they are maintaining in our celestial environment, if you like. So I think you'll find there's still intensity out there. There's a lot of desire for everyone to feel freer, to be less restricted, to have more of their own individual voices being heard. And I think we see that across the planet. We're also seeing some warlike tension energies, and that is quite often common when we get that Mars activation and when the Aries energy comes into play. But we're seeing a little bit of that through the Myanmar issues that are going on at the moment with the political agenda over there and the very fierce warring like energies and the restrictions put on their citizens. So that may grow in the month of April as we move around the globe. It might not be just them, there could be other areas. Let's have a look at the cards and see what they're saying. I'll pull a few from this, which is the original White Rider-Waite tarot deck, and then I will be going to this, which is the Psy card deck, and that's spelt P-S-Y. These are really intense cards. I have changed the meaning around for them a little bit, so the meaning of how I interpret them is a little bit different than how they were initially devised. But let's see what's in store, starting with these ones. So for April 2021, from the Collective Conscious Energy Thread, what is in store? Two reversals it looks like to start off with, and the Nine of Wands and the King of Cups. Reversals tend to mean a little bit of a reversed energy field, as if something could be a little bit stuck, or as if possibly some people interpret it as suggesting that the card in its upright position, then the meaning of it when it's reversed is quite often the opposite energy. But we will see what we get when we just draw a couple more from this deck. Wow, another reversal, the Eight of Swords. So 8, 9 and a King, and one more that was a jumper, another 8. So 2 8s, a 9 and a King with 3 reversals. I think 3 reversals to me points to be a fairly significant agenda. The reversals could mean a backtracking of ideas or a hold up in something, and this could relate to a political agenda, maybe even a person like this who might be a king who is displaced or who is wanting to do something but is finding restrictions around him, and it could somehow be associated with money or finances. This is interesting that the financial card has come out upright, and the Eight of Pentacles is generally considered a fairly optimistic card. It suggests that things are doing okay in terms of perhaps the financial sector, It's slowly but surely, steadfastly gaining ground or maintaining some sort of strength. There is an indication some of these pentacles are off and on the ground, so there could be something about needing to strengthen a part of that system, or some of them maybe take a fall. So it could mean there is a fall coming for some stocks or shares. And I look at these and I'm getting this Bitcoin message coming in here. I'm not sure if any of you are picking that up. So does Bitcoin do something in this month of April? Does it take a tumble? Or does it in fact become stronger and become more enabled and strengthened? But coming back to these three up here that are reversed, this Eight of Swords in particular is a really intense card. It's about your own dynamics in life and feeling restricted and tightened. And that's what we were saying earlier, that people feel as though they want more freedom in life and they're ready to push the boundaries. We look at all the different groups that have come online, if you like, to get attention and to make changes in the world since 2020. The Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, the Stop Hate Asian movement that started now. So this is about this feeling of, don't tell us what to do, don't restrict us. We want to be out, we want to be free. We're all entitled to our own unique individuality in life without being blamed or hidden or having less access to certain things in life than others. And maybe that's what this reversal is actually suggesting here, that we are allowing that to happen. We are breaking free of the restrictions. We're literally falling out of what was a very restrictive set of circumstances here. This card often also details anxiety, heightened anxiety, internalized by our own mind. So the fact that this card is reversed may mean that we are becoming less anxious, that we are breaking free of some of the restrictions that may have held us in the past as well. So there's that potentiality too. But I do get a feeling of falling in the month of April. So what is it that's actually falling? Because both of these people are falling and these coins have fallen off here. So we could also be referring to falling out of favour, falling out of grace, the same thing, falling from the sky. Something might fall from the sky. It could be rockets, it could be bombs or missiles, it could be satellites, it could be launches to other place, it could be concepts of space, like big companies that may have had a concept to launch to go to the moon or to Mars. Those ideas may fall away because something is wrong. But that's just one concept of the falling away of things. This card here also means feeling as though you have been locked into a situation and have had to stand your ground for a long time, and you've felt on defense, as if you've constantly been belittled or berated or forced into a corner, and everyone else is barging at you and they want you to do it their way. And so again, it feels as if restrictions are being broken. So maybe there is this epoch of some sort where we literally change direction in a whole arena of life, of rules, of paradigms, of time, of some sort of shift that's coming. So perhaps 2021 will go down in the history books when we look back in hindsight of being a year of instability, in as much as it's like insurrection from the individuals, from the people, to make the changes on the planet for the way they want it to be as we move forward. And if we come back to the reversed King of Cups, he's usually known often as an individual, sometimes a water sign individual, or perhaps as a water sign rising or moon energy. When he's facing the right way up, he embellishes or embodies love and harmony and inspiration and ideas and creativity as well. But he's reversed again. So does he mean that some of those things are not going to be in balance for this month of April? It could suggest that someone like him, so perhaps a global leader who would traditionally embellish those energies, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a man, it can be a female as well, but that this person may be upturned or up facing, or something about him doesn't go the right way or in an unexpected way. Perhaps his temperament changes, or something he does or she does is not as normally expected. And because of these cards around this king, these may also be part of the cause and effect of the situation that this king finds themselves in too. Perhaps it's about the people around them breaking free, or breaking away from tradition, or wanting change, or not accepting certain aspects or things that he is wanting to put together. But with this money card again at the bottom, somehow maybe the money plays okay with the situations that are taking place with all the people on the planet, as if there's a degree of stability. As I said, it could mean that some of the money is falling off, or going down, or dropping off, but overall it feels more stable. Let's have a look at the Psi cards, because I always find these the most interesting. Okay. So for April 2021, we usually take 6 of these, so it would be nice if 6 turn up. The message. They're a bit contemplative this month. The stars. We've talked about the stars before, and I guess those pentacles even, well, really, they're embellishing stars in a degree because they have stars on the pentacles. So perhaps 2 references there to the stars. The mother. Friendship. Liberation, which is freedom, and we've talked about that a lot. The cave, and the bottom one, the prison. Maybe we've gone full circle from desiring liberation over here and having it to a degree, and ending up with the prison over here. I have to say these cards aren't too bad. That I've seen a lot worse come out in a month. They feel more contemplative. They feel more thought-provoking as opposed to action-related. So this could ponder the fact that we are making changes slowly, and that these changes will take a while to come in, and perhaps that's what the stars is talking about. In many terms, this card, it looks, if you look at all the line markings in the background, they're mapping out major constellations, I guess. But that's traveling in time too, because space and time are so vast. So the card often refers to huge timelines, changes from an intergalactic perspective, an unknowingness, or a degree of uncertainty, because a lot can change in the space of time, or the time of space, whichever way you want to look at it. So it's as if we are making change, but that it may not evolve the way we want to, or the way we think it is, that there's still many more aspects open to possibilities. And I think we're finding that more and more as we evolve, as we see these 20s decades opening up. What we thought was a possibility, or didn't think was a possibility, especially at the end of 2019, moving into the 20s, becomes a reality, and it's things that we would never have suspected or thought of or dreamt of. And I think that is what the 20s are going to represent for us all over a period of time. You could use this for catchphrase, and it could be expect the unexpected, and I think that's what the 20s are going to deliver for us. So the message is quite profound as well. What is the message? We can't see it, it's hidden in this bottle. There are a few letters on it, but you can't actually read the message. So there's something coming for us, and it could be that it's related to a possible open-ended scenario that may change course over time, and it may change the shape of destiny over time. The message can also sometimes refer to things that happen at sea, because that looks to be on a boat. There are fish, there's a net there in the background. So sometimes I think of this as quake-related issues, especially in the sea. So sometimes potential or possible tsunamis, also big storms that form at sea, So cyclonic type storms that can move inland and create a mess that looks like a tsunami. Tide ingress sometimes. The mother card, it's a difficult one to comprehend. That's this one over here. It sometimes refers to Gaia herself, Mother Earth. So when this card comes out, I sometimes think that Mother Earth is ruling the month, that she decides what goes on. So that can mean earth-related events that take place, so geographical or weather-related or geological or quake-related, storms, things like that. But I'm not entirely convinced that that is the overall meaning of this card. Sometimes it references children, unfortunately, and sad events with children. None of those people look particularly well, so they actually do look like they have the plague. They're a bit sickly and unwell looking. So there could be something about that comes into play again, something about the plague, if you know what I mean, that there could be an upsurge or new information brought to our attention. There could be more outbreaks uncontained. There could be information pertaining to children in particular and the suffering of children on our planet, how they are not looked after enough, how there is abuse towards them, and sometimes within private families. So there might be some really sad news about family situations where children are unfortunately the victims of something that is not very pleasant. I'll move this in for you a bit more. Then we come to the friendship card, and this is often about talks or negotiations that have been going really, really well. And this can be between countries or even companies where there's plans of some sort of cooperation or a co-op or a deal. So it can be around trades and dealings to do with trades, things like that. But at the last hour, at the final hour, there's a hidden person coming in here. On the left-hand side, there's a hand with a mug. Pardon the pun, what a mug that person is. And oftentimes this card refers to the hidden agenda of life and how the third or the fourth person in this case coming in can change the outcome. So sometimes this is about another person offering their perspective or restricting deals that were about to happen. So there could be some imposition on global deals that are trying to be struck, whether they're climate deals, whether they're trade deals, whether they're peace deals, whether they're war deals. It feels as though it was coming close to some sort of agreement, and then there is a hidden agenda that pops up that turns everything AWOL. Coming back to this one here, the message and boats, I'm thinking of the boat that's been stuck in the Suez Canal for the last 2 weeks, which has now been freed, of course, but it's restricted trade very heavily, and they do say that restricted trade will have a global impact over the next few weeks, and that's where maybe we could see that the money took a bit of a fall. So some shares or stocks could fall temporarily, but there's this background solidity with it anyhow. So that's a possibility. Coming to the liberation, this is about freedom and wanting the freedom and running from something. This card can often mean rapid running from something. So storms, and the one next to it, the cave, that could be very related, hunkering down and hiding from a storm situation. So there may be really intense weather patterns that happen over this month of April, and that can also be in alignment with certain astrological perspectives and also the way the moon is working. So I think we're getting a message here about stormy systems that brew up that are impacted on the sea or take the sea into consideration and move across land and cause flooding of towns, villages. Also like rising waters from the mountains and coming down and flooding. It's like an inland tsunami. Now parts of New South Wales in Australia have just suffered from this really, really badly, the exact same scenario, but I'm feeling as if this scenario could re-emerge, perhaps not for them, but then again, I'll say something in a minute. It could re-emerge globally around the globe for other different countries. But this card here with the snake in front, I often think of Australia because that's a brown snake and they have the brown snakes there. So sometimes this can reference things to do with Australia. So it could be some weather issues that go on over there, or some other agenda that's brought to our attention to do with Australia. There is also this door with a key. It's a little bit like a locked door, and this is, a rampart gate or whatever that comes down. So you get the feeling of being locked in, and we had the prison card, and we've had all of these being locked in over here. All of these cards represented this feeling of something surrounding us, stopping us from freedom, or freedom of knowledge, freedom of the truth even. So something's changing. I feel like there's a opening. This is your opening coming. These are openings as well, because we're slipping away from what we've been held to believe, or where we've been kept hidden, or information that's been kept hidden. So perhaps there is something coming that will be enlightening, or will change the direction of the destiny of where we're headed, or where we've held our beliefs in before, and that's what the stars represents up here. So remember I said at the beginning I was getting the feeling that this was a very philosophical reading. It seemed deeper than just the surface of the month. It's as if it's giving us an insight into a great big picture of the future and the changes that could be coming for destiny of mankind. Interesting. I'm surprised the puzzle card didn't actually turn up. So coming back to this last one, the prison, I don't know what to say. We've talked about being imprisoned. We've talked about being locked up, held down, kept from the light. The light's now beginning to shine through here. Sometimes this card does literally mean prison issues. Sometimes it means locked down, again like this, feeling stuck in a situation and trapped in buildings, trapped in underground, trapped in tunnels, under mountains, in caves. So there could be something about mountains as well for the month of April, and being trapped in them, mudslides, avalanches, flowing like there has been this in January or February. Was it an avalanche or a big water that bowled through a whole bunch of villages? It was like a dam that broke, I think. Well, there could be something again like that. I'm getting that energy coming in. So there you are. I think we'll stop there, everyone. Please add your insights, your thoughts and feelings. It's great when you do. And I thank you again for joining me. And look, guys, I will be back with the channel to the best I can when the situations dictate. And in the meantime, have a wonderful Easter coming up. Even if you don't celebrate the Easter religious perspective, it is a time on the planet of particularly heightened, beautiful, energetic, cosmic energy that we get bombarded with. And a lot of people on the planet also put out very high energy that goes towards collective positivity and love and nurture. So have a wonderful Easter coming up, and yeah, I'll be back with you as soon as I can. Much love, everyone. Namaste.